So 3, 2, 1. All right, for the second time, we're trying this again. Welcome, guys. You're checking out an all new RCWR show for Thursday night of May 21st, 2020. How the hell y'all been? Y'all ready for the Memorial Day holiday break? Feels kind of weird, doesn't it? Given the pandemic and all that. Yeah, you're not the only one. I would imagine that we're going to be seeing a big spike in families that are going to be having some nice, quiet, immediate family little barbecue get-togethers. I know over here in the nation's capital, something that I believe they're doing for the very first time ever. It's never been done before with regards to the Arlington Cemetery. You know, normally that's the hot spot. You know, pay your respects to the vets and all of that. Usually out here in DC, we have a little, not just festivals, but we also have little parades and all that. None of that is happening for the first time ever with regards to paying your respects to the deceased at the Arlington Cemetery. Arlington Cemetery, that's been closed down because of this whole pandemic. So Memorial Day, that ain't happening. So weird times that we're in right now. Weird times. But I tell you what, I don't think for an instance it's going to be quiet. As far as going into the weekend, I don't think it's going to be quiet. And I say that because you got so many people that are cooped up in their homes. They want to try to capitalize on this good weather now that we're officially done with Old Man Winter, depending on your respective neck of the woods. All right, we're finally done with winter. We can finally get out here, enjoy some nice weather and all that, you know, enjoy the sun. I would imagine there's going to be a decent amount of just immediate families having little cookouts, but you're probably going to have I won't say a huge spike, but you're probably going to have a spike of people that's going to be jumping out there that, okay, I can't cook, I can't barbecue at my apartment, condo, all that other shit. Let me go out. Let me go see what a friend is doing. Shit like that. So I think it just really depends. But it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. You know, for me, I think Cinco de Mayo is probably an indication on where Memorial Day is probably going to be. And the reason why I say that, I don't know, again, how it is for you all's respected neck of the woods, but I live in a residential area. You know, I own my own home. So, you know, it's like, you know, homes all around here. So usually when it comes to Cinco de Mayo, I mean, this neighborhood is fucking lit. Somebody's having a fucking party, right down to the point people are knocking on each other's door, you know, hey, you know, having a party, you want to come over, you know, BYOB, all that other shit. And I gotta tell you, this year and all the years that I've lived over here, I've been here for at least 11 years. This had been the first Cinco de Mayo where it was quiet. Nobody was having parties. Nobody was even playing music. Totally quiet. So I can only imagine how things are going to be going into the Memorial Day weekend. I mean, stranger things have happened, but we'll see how that goes down. So this is going to be a short show. There's not much for us to talk about. We'll definitely talk about AEW. We'll definitely talk about NXT. We'll talk about Impact. We'll also sprinkle in a couple of little headlines. Get you guys ready for the AEW Dynamite pay-per-view. For those of you maybe have a little bit of money to spare and you're thinking about purchasing that pay-per-view, and you want to know how much that pay-per-view costs, yeah, I got all the info for that. And I got to tell you, I got a bone to pick with AEW with regards to their pay-per-view prices, but we'll get into that a little bit later on during the show. But quick update, because where we last left off with you guys, with our Owen Hart Dark Side of the Ring review. I want to just say once again, thank you guys tremendously for those of you that went out of your way. You checked out that review. You left your interactions. You shared it. Whatever you did, appreciate it. I saw that it's been picking up a little bit of steam. I like that. Did not plan on doing that review. I just felt, okay, I'm here. Yeah, you know, what's up? It was pretty much my whole thing. Like, I'm here. Let's do it. Let's do the damn thing. Well, I kind of felt like Bill O'Reilly for a minute, the infamous Bill O'Reilly clip. Fuck it. We'll go live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Just fuck it. We'll do it live. Look that clip up. You'll have a fucking big old ball of laughter when you check that clip up. But that's just how I felt. It was like, damn, this shit. Man, I want to talk about this. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Because part of me was going, we'll wait till Wednesday or Thursday. Like, I don't really want to. Well, fuck it. Go live now. And that's what we did. And I see even one of the producers, Jason Eisner, even he took time out to check out my review and left me a comment, let me know he appreciated the kind words and everything. So that's always awesome that you see stuff like that in people when it counts the most. Yeah, we actually are paying attention to the feedback. We're checking any and everything out. And one of these days, though, I'm hoping that I can get Jason Eisner on the show, because the past couple of times we've had Evan Husney on the show. And if you guys didn't check out the interview we did with him, basically previewing this season and going a little bit back and forth on some other topics, you can go back, you can check it out. Guest exclusive section on the YouTube channel. Just look up youtube.com/the RCWR show. But I'm hoping one of these days I can get Jason Eisner on the show, because true story, the past 2 times we had booked something with the Dark Side of the Ring crew, it was supposed to be 2-on-1. It was supposed to be Jason and Evan and me, having a conversation. But the past 2 times, something weird was going on with Jason. I know, and legit, not no bullshit, but legit. Like this last go round, when we were setting up the interview, it was like right before the shit hit the fan with COVID. And then once the shit hit the fan with COVID, I'm talking about like that middle of March. As you guys know, that's when things really kind of exploded there, like from March 13th on. And we had our interview somewhere around there. And right as that shit was going on, Jason unfortunately was left the task of trying to edit some more episodes and some other stuff. So when it came time to do the interview, sadly that second time Jason was not available. But hopefully we can, because we are very friendly with them and everything, and hopefully we can get them on the show, because that would be badass to follow up with them, talk about this past season, talk about the new season as well. But got a correction I want to make. We were talking about the Owen Hart t-shirts. That's at Pro Wrestling Tees. Peep this out. So when I was doing that review on Owen, I said to you guys, hey, all the money you kicking in for those Owen shirts on the pro wrestling site, that's all going to the Owen Hart Foundation. Turns out it's not. So basically the way they got it set up, let's say the shirts cost $25 each, because there's only 2 designs. Out of that $25, only about $3, $4, $5 of that is going towards the Owen Hart Foundation. So kind of have that in the back of your mind. If you're in a position where after you get done taking care of yourself, your family, you're able to give, or as I like to say, pay it forward, always forward. You want to do a little something, then don't ask me for a recommendation, but I would say if you really want to make sure your dollar is going, every penny is going towards where it needs to go, I would say give your money more towards the Shad Gaspard family, because they could definitely use it right now. And they got a t-shirt that's available. I was doing my best to promote it all throughout social media. I even ordered a shirt myself, so I look forward to getting that in the mail. Hopefully I'll get it sometime next week. But a store by the name of collarandelbowbrand.com. collarandelbowbrand.com. This was set up by Al Snow, longtime in-ring veteran, as you guys know. Now one of the founders, the new founders slash not new founders, I'll say new owners. That's the term I wanted to use. Now one of the new owners of Ohio Valley Wrestling. That's his site. And he basically, with blessings from the family, has set up a Shad Gaspard t-shirt. It's a pretty cool t-shirt. You guys can go there, buy it, and 100% of all of that money, so that shirt's $24.99, all of that money is going right to the Gaspard family, and Lord knows they could use all the money that they can get right now, as his body was found Wednesday morning. You know, we kind of knew, because process of elimination, more time that passes. The wife did put out a new statement. I definitely want to read to you guys that statement that she had put out. She actually had put out the statement through Ryan Satin. And let me see if I can actually pull it up here. And you guys got to bear with me a second. Hopefully I can pull it up. If I cannot pull it up, then maybe somebody very kind in the chat can actually pull it up for me. But I think this was a case where Ryan Satin maybe reached out, and you know, the wife of Shad Gaspard was basically kind enough to put a statement out there. So give me a second here, and boom, I think I have it now. Let me see here. Where's your statement? 1 minute we see the statement, the next minute we don't, because he first had put it out on Twitter, and then other wrestling media outlets had picked up on it afterwards. So let me see here. I mean, I can always summarize it if I'm not able to find it. Oh, I got it now. So she goes on to say basically how her, you know, the children, herself, you know, all the families want to take this time to thank everyone for their prayers and support as we mourn the terrible loss of our beloved Shad. Shad was our whole world, and we were his. There are not enough words to describe what he means to all of us. He was our heart, our soul, our protector, our warrior. He was a bright force of nature who brought joy to many through his joyous and gracious nature. The outpouring of love from Shad's friends, colleagues, and fans has meant more to us than you can even imagine. We'd like to once again thank the lifeguards, coast guards, divers, fire, and police departments for their efforts. Shad was and will always be our real life superhero. And again, that is from Selania Gaspard, the wife, now widow, of Shad Gaspard. So again, with regards to that t-shirt, you can go to the collarandelbowbrand.com website. You can get yourself a Shad Gaspard shirt. Like I said, I got mine coming in the mail. Hopefully, you know, a whole bunch of fellow podcasters, colleagues, you the listeners, just everybody, just wrestling industry in its entirety. Hopefully everybody can come together and, you know, represent, and they could do something really cool, getting that shirt, paying it forward, always forward. And I tell you what, it's really nice to hear the buzz of people wanting to see guys, Shad Gaspard in the WWE Hall of Fame by being a Warrior recipient, getting that Warrior award. I think that's a great idea. I think under the circumstances, yeah. I mean, and as far as I know, Shad, no heat whatsoever in the WWE, as far as I know. Now, I know JTG, on the other hand, with those 2 books that he did, you know, that's a entirely different story. But you guys, whoever started that, as far as Shad being the recipient of the Warrior Award, fucking embodies exactly what Warrior, to a degree, was talking. I would have no problem if you were to say to me next year, Shad gets that award. Good. That's a real life American fucking hero right there. Give it to the man, without a doubt. You know, we'll see what happens, but I'm sure, you know, maybe Cauliflower Alley Club. I have a feeling that within the next 3 years, 4 tops, but definitely in the next 3 years, I think you're gonna see a lot of wrestling promotions. Definitely starting this year. But I definitely see whether it's special episodes dedicated, maybe even some independent promotions doing tournaments dedicated, or Shad Gaspard tournament, or I could just see so many cool things that's gonna if I could somehow take a death, put a spin on it in a positive way, I can see so many good things coming out of this, where the end game is all about paying it forward. And it's a beautiful thing to see and behold. So I'd say rest of this year, over the course of the next 3 years, you can expect to see a lot of things go down. And I'm quite sure, bank on it, I have a feeling that once the family gets in a better position, if they already are not financially in a really, when they're just a little bit more in a better position, I have a feeling that some type of a scholarship, something is going to be done in his name. Mark my words on that. Mark my words on that. Saw AEW Dynamite and NXT this week. Both shows were not that good. Gotta tell you guys, I did a lot of fast forwarding. Fast forward more through NXT than I did AEW. AEW, this was a go home show, because the pay-per-view is this Saturday, which, by the way, Double or Nothing this Saturday. I don't know how many of you guys plan on ordering that pay-per-view. I actually took the liberty of, right before I went on the air, looking up how much that pay-per-view costs. $49.99 in HD. $49.99 in HD. So, assuming there's a standard definition version available, okay, so $39.99. Gotta tell you, given the fact that we're still in the middle of a pandemic, I hate to pull one of my favorite lines from Rocky, where you got the guy that was Rocky's boss. Hey, look, Rocco, I'm not running a charity here. I know AEW, I know it's not charity what they're doing, but if there was ever a time to, for the next couple of months, just knock down that price a little bit. Do $29, do $39. You'll make a lot more money. You'll have more eyes on your product. That $50 tag, that hurts. That hurts. Now, before the AEW purist fan jumps out there, if WWE, because see, I don't know, because I have the WWE network. Now, if WWE, I do remember seeing the prices for WrestleMania, and I do remember talking about it on the show, and I remember ripping WWE. So I am being consistent. So you AEW purists, don't take it personal. I'm coming after everybody and their fucking prices. So WWE did what they did with WrestleMania. I don't know how much they charged for Money in the Bank. I can only imagine how much they're going to be charging for, what's the next one coming up, Backlash or whatever. I can only imagine how much they're going to be charging for that. But given the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, doesn't quite feel that good to be asking people to come up out of their pockets and pay $50 for a pay-per-view. $29, $39, I'm okay with that. For me, you want to talk about a real steal? $19.99. Until things are really back, I think for the foreseeable future, I think by default, your high definition pay-per-views, those should be $19.99. Your standard editions, those should be $9.99. And then as each month, gets ready to, if WWE and other promotions, my challenge to them would be to work with these cable satellite providers, work out some type of a deal where, okay, we know we're in this pandemic right now. We know families are hurting, unemployment, blah this, blah that. all right, is there any way in phases we can have it be this price and then gradually have it go back to this price again? And if the cable satellite providers are willing to work things out with said promotions, then knowing that it's only temporary, then so be it. I mean, for fuck's sake, we see Uber, we see Lyft, we see DoorDash, we see so many places, so many companies that are okay. We'll lower that given what's going on right now. Okay, we can lower that. We can lower the surcharge. Yeah, we can lower the delivery fee by this much. Hell, no delivery fee, no problem. You know, you see a lot of compromise that's going on right now while everybody is still able to make money. And I hate to tell you guys that, but sadly at the end of the day, if you ain't making a profit, if it ain't making dollars, it don't make sense. That common sense I'm talking about. But I would like to see a $9.99, a $19.99 phase. And then gradually, okay, now we're going to phase out the $9.99. You know, now the standard will be $19.99. $29.99 will get you the high definition. And then after a period of time, okay, we're going to phase out. You guys get it. Rinse, repeat, just keep doing it like that. I don't blame people if they're thinking, man, $50, middle of a pandemic. Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to probably do the illegal stream, or I'm going to probably do this. I'm going to probably do that. I don't blame you guys if that's how you're thinking right now. Shit, Sanders' household. I told the missus how there was a pay-per-view coming up. She goes, okay, so you're definitely covering it, right? I said, yeah, most likely. Well, how much is it? I told her, I said, I'm not sure yet. I said, but their last, AEW that is, their last batch of pay-per-views, it was blah, blah, blah. That's pretty steep. Like, yeah, I know. I'll let you know how much it costs. Looked up the price, $49.99 for you Verizon customers. My girl was like, yeah, nah, empty arena, $50. Nah, I'm like, yeah. I try to justify it in my mind though. It's like, yeah, but they're doing this every 3 months. I actually said that out loud. I'm like, no, that's too steep. It's empty arena. Like, yeah, that's true. So I don't blame you guys, you know, but I really hope that these companies can look into doing something with these prices, because I think they would actually get more business by lowering these fucking prices. But regardless of that, this pay-per-view is still going down. No matter how me and everybody else think of these prices, they're gonna get their money one way or a fucking another. Curious how much it is on Fight TV, by the way, and I'll actually look up Fight TV as we're talking. But you know, both shows this week, what was it? Oh shit! They still have the hell? The hell is that? Okay, sorry about that. That's something kicking in there. But no, most shows this week they were so. For AEW, I know it was essentially a go home in setting up their pay-per-view, but there was only a couple of bright spots that I took away going, I enjoyed it. The Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts segment, the talking segment, that was great. Yeah, I mean, I grew up on those guys, so everything that they embody as far as the word wrestling. You know, I felt like I was a kid again in the 80s watching these guys. So I was giddy. Just to think, too, over a fucking talking segment. You know, and I actually wanted to see these two guys tear the shit out of each other. I actually wanted to see them fuck each other up. So for me, to see these guys in a talking segment, it was a classic segment too. You know, doing a really damn good job putting over their respective boys. I gotta tell you, I don't care if it's shuffle hockey or whatever, man. Jello shots, fucking golf. I don't care what it is. I gotta see them Do something. Hell, man, give them the WWE touch and do the fucking cinematic fighting if you need to do that. Just, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I would be very fucking intrigued to see that. But no, they did pretty good on AEW Dynamite. I give them a lot of props. Match wise, Guevara taking on Matt Hardy, great match. I was complimentary of Guevara during the last stream. For those of you that's going to be watching this on demand, or you're going to be listening to this on the downloads, we sadly had the stream get interrupted, and it kicked in after about, I would say maybe 30 minutes being on the air. So, a lot of what I'm saying right now, sadly, those that were with us the first go round on the show, they're hearing this a second time. But I got to be consistent as far as my compliments to Sammy Guevara. From where I saw the young man at the start of the AEW promotion to where he is now, he just continues to grow more and more as a performer. I know I was very complimentary of him a couple of weeks ago, but I just can't help but continue to give that young man praise. And it's refreshing to see right before our own eyes stars that are being developed. If you really stop and think about it, yeah, it is slowly but surely happening right before our very eyes. We got stars that are, and Guevara is one of those cats. And for him to be in that position, main event, Matt Hardy, I mean, yeah, we saw how everything culminated with the Bucks returning, a little surprise cameo, attacking Inner Circle and all of that. But to basically have the proper, all right, this is how we're going to fade to black, but we got this main event match that's going to help set us up to fade to black. And Hardy and Sammy, that says to me how much trust that Sammy is being given. We trust this young man to go out there. He's proven to us he's a good hand. We have faith, we have confidence, we have insert whatever you want to insert. That's what they have in Sammy. So to see him in this position, week after week after week, is fucking awesome. And not to mention, this guy gives us some entertaining shit. Whether it's he's talking mad shit with his fucking cue cards or whatever the fuck you want to call it, picture in picture, whether he's doing that or he's doing something kind of corny and wacky but funny at the same time outside the ring, because he's supporting whoever of the Inner Circle. Just something, or mannerisms, whatever he's doing in a match, something always goes over on social media that has a lot of people talking about the guy. Add that on top of the fact that the guy can fucking wrestle too. I mean, he's fucking awesome. He's fucking awesome. And now we got MJF that's back into the whole mix of things on the regular. I mean, these are guys that's definitely, as far as guys I'm looking at, as far as AEW goes, the talents that y'all need to be keeping your eyes peeled on. Yeah, Sammy, MJF jumps out to me. I haven't given up on Jungle Boy. I have not given up on Jungle Boy. He's another one that I'm continuing to watch very closely. I want nothing but the very best for him, and I think he should be given everything that's coming to him in due time. But of course, there's a big part of me that's really rooting him on just because of who his dad was and everything. And I was a big fan of his dad's growing up. No shame in my game. I watched every single episode of 90210. I did not watch the latest reboot, especially once I had heard what fans thought of it, because I asked the fans when it premiered, I said, so chat me up. What you like about it? What's it about? Is it worth watching? And a lot of people were going, nah, it's, unless you're diehard, you ain't missed nothing. They're playing kind of parodies of themselves. Like, huh? So it's kind of, all right, well, I'll go ahead and I'll skip that one then. But because of who his dad was. But yeah, I watched every single episode of 90210. No shame in my game. I was mad when he fucking left. I was happy when he came back to the show. Like, all right, yeah, he's back. Fuck yeah. You know, he was kind of like our. Because I remember when me and Tams were talking about his passing. I don't know if we talked about his passing, if it was on an episode of the RCWR show, or if maybe it was on an episode of Wrestling with the Topics. But I remember saying how he had that combination of DiCaprio meets Marlon Brando meets Steve McQueen meets James Dean. I mean, it was a weird, cool ass combination that he had going on there. Even a little bit of Glenn Fry to a certain extent, you know. And I'm not even thinking from a musical standpoint when I mention Glenn Fry, but just when you just kind of kick back and you know all those names I just dropped, you kind of see what we were talking about on there and everything. But those are the guys I'm looking at right now. There's a couple other people I'm kind of eyeballing, but the verdict is still out. Nyla Rose definitely is continuing to fucking crush it week in and week out. Very pleased with her fucking work. We'll definitely talk about that Dynamite card too. That's going to be going down. Not Dynamite. I'm thinking of the other card. The Double or Nothing card. We'll definitely talk more about that Double or Nothing card. I'll offer some preview and picks for that one. Alright, so quick matches. Jon Moxley taking on 10. Defeating 10. Still has not reclaimed his championship. Maybe that'll go down at the pay-per-view. Marco Stunt losing to MJF. What can I say about that match? That was exactly what it was. It served how I thought it was going to be in my mind. It went down exactly how I thought it was. It's like a double-edged sword. Like, on the one hand, you're looking at Marco Stunt versus MJF, and you're going, look at that little honey badger. The little honey badger got some spunk in him, don't he? Like, look at him, a little sparky. He's spoiling for a fight. He can get his ass whooped, but he don't back down. Little man got heart. But then on the other hand, man, it's nice seeing this guy get the living shit kicked out of him, because yeah, you can have all that heart, but eventually your little ass is going to get owned. There's only but so many times one can continue to see little Marco Stunt get his ass handed to him before you go, all right, well, this really isn't doing anything for me, so what's next? I'm a little concerned about him. I really am. I kind of feel as though if there was ever anyone that could possibly, I'm just thinking in storyline, if there was ever anyone that could possibly defect from the Jurassic Express, Marco Stunt is the one I'm eyeballing. He would be the one, I think, as far as a heel turn. Yeah, but who do you pair him up with? Do you maybe put him with Brody in the Dark Order? Do you maybe kind of go in that direction? You know, where are you going? Do you maybe pair him up with Inner Circle? Where are you gonna inject him? Insert here. That's where it's a little bit tricky. But just looking at those guys as far as the trio in Jurassic Express, as far as who would defect, I just feel that based on what I've been seeing of Marco Stunt these past several weeks, I think he would be able to handle himself pretty well as a heel. And then also think about this. Now that you've made him a heel, you've also put him in a position where not only is he saying and doing the most foul, fucked up shit, but at the same time, now you got the fans that really want to see this little mumpkin get his ass handed to him. And just when you think it's about to go down, he escapes the clutches once again. So I could see Marco stunned under the right circumstances. You know, but you can only see this little guy in the current position that he's in right now. You know, I mean, it's cool to see him have that little fire in him and everything, but seeing him continuing to take these ass whoopings, it can only go so far. That's just the whole point that I'm making to you guys. Orange Cassidy, Ray Phoenix. Love seeing more of the technical aspects from Orange Cassidy. I did like that. You know, that was actually pretty good. Let's see. Chris Statlander, Shida, Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, Fatal 4-Way. Britt Baker. Oh, actually, no, correction. It was a tag team matchup. Forgive me, guys. Tag team matchup. It was Statlander and Shida taking on Britt Baker and Nyla Rose. Actually, it was an okay women's match. I actually got to give it up to all four of those girls. Couple of miscues here and there. A little bit of sloppiness. I will definitely admit that. But Nyla's continuing to come along. She's continuing to come along. Pleased with the match overall. All of those girls this week. Pretty good. And we already put over Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy. So this week you pretty much had a total of 5 matches, believe it or not, for a 2-hour broadcast. You had a total of 5 matches that had went down. You know, hey, 2 hours, you know, no problem. A lot of filler stuff here and there. A little bit of talking here and there. Pre-production segments here and there. But it was all right. It was all right. The brawl at the end was good. Seeing fucking the Young Bucks. Who else was out there? Hangman Adam Page made a little cameo as well. You had the Young Bucks, Omega, Hardy, Hangman. They pretty much were posing to pretty much end the show. You know, as they got the football stadium behind them and everything. Kind of like what went down weeks ago. Instead, it was Inner Circle that had got the one up, you know, over the Elite guys. It was kind of good how they had ended it. It was a good show overall, I would have to say. NXT, on the other hand, a lot of fast forwarding. A lot of fucking fast forwarding I found myself doing. I got to give it to you guys right between the eyes. This tournament thing, it's not doing anything for me. I could care less about the tournament. Now look, man. My interest is peaked now because we got this triple threat that's supposed to be happening with Drake Maverick. Who's the other 2 guys? I can't remember the other 2 guys right now, but because they're all tied, they're basically going to have a triple threat match next week. And if I remember it right, I'm actually looking right now here. Bear with me a second, because I actually got my notes here. See, next week. Yeah, next week it's going to be Drake Maverick, Phantasma, and who's the third guy? Is the third guy Kushida? I'm asking you guys in the chat. Is the third guy Kushida? I can't remember who the third guy is. Because if I remember it right, Drake beat Kushida, who beat Atlas, who beat Drake. And so it's 2-1. So as a result of that, to figure out who's definitively going to move on to the finals, that's why we're going to have that triple threat next week. Io Shirai taking on Rhea Ripley. Io Shirai winning via DQ. It actually was a pretty good match. Charlotte making a little bit of a cameo. She took a bump there as, I swear to gosh, she might have not been looking to be part of that party, but man, did that party fucking come to her, whether she liked it or not. So you can't help but wonder what's going to be happening in setting up next week's NXT as far as an announcement goes. Maybe, just maybe, Charlotte Flair is going to be in for one mean ass title defense. She may have to defend that title against Io and Ripley in a triple threat match. And if that happens, who the fuck's going to be walking away as champion? I think it really just depends. Sorry for those of you listening to the audio only. I just had to take a little bit of a swig there. See what else here. Again, I'm only looking at key points. Just key points that caught my interest. I'm not doing full-blown fucking recaps. One thing that was pretty disappointing to me, and I ain't forget about Karrion Kross, guys. I ain't forget about him. One thing that was a little bit disappointing to me was Mia Yim taking on Santana Garrett. Here's the reason why. First off, any longtime listener knows I've been a big fan and supporter of Santana Garrett. Right down to the point, I remember the first season of WoW, Women of Wrestling. Santana Garrett, everything pretty much started off when they were doing their thing on Access TV. She was the WoW Women's Champion. So I've had a lot of respect for Santana Garrett. Was checking out her stuff from other promotions way before she even got involved with Women of Wrestling. So I know what this woman is capable of. That's the whole point that I'm trying to bring up to you guys. And it just breaks my heart to see her. You know, on the one hand, I'm happy for her because, hey, she's getting TV time. Hey, this is great for her fans. You know, this is great for her. This is great for her brand. Even if she's at the receiving end of a defeat, it's still good for her brand. All right, cool. But at the same time, 90-second matches, 2-minute matches, you know, all we get to see is, oh, look at this pretty woman. All right, we just watched this pretty woman get her ass beat. And that's where I'm a little bit disheartened. Honestly, that's where I'm a little bit disheartened because I'm looking at her and I'm going, man, we could do so much more with her. You know, y'all, WWE, y'all got enough talent, especially enhancement talent. You know, won't you take some of these girls and to kind of follow up on what I had said on the show recently, if there was ever a time where, all right, ain't no Rhea Ripley, ain't no Ronda Rousey, ain't no Becky Lynch, all right, girls, time to step up. There's a prime spot there. 2 or 3 maybe. You know, this is it. If there's ever a time where I wanted for WWE to, okay, so in the interim, who are we eyeballing? Who should we maybe consider? Who should we evaluate here? If there's ever a time to play around with your roster a little bit, this is that time. And I look at somebody like Santana Garrett, definitely a true in-ring veteran. Just breaks my heart to see her in these squash matches, these silly ass matches that she's not really given a good enough opportunity to show what she's really capable of in the ring. I understood the main story of this though, which was basically to further, and they played out exactly how I thought it was going to play out, further extend this storyline that, you know, shots were really kind of fired on social media, Mia Yim to the Garganos. And now you got the Garganos all up in Mia Yim's business. All right, set up Keith Lee. Okay. Intergender match, couple versus couple. Okay, I get it. Saw them all away. It was nice how that all had, you know, panned out together and everything. I just riddle me this. What is WWE's obsession with couples? I just, for the love of me, I just can't figure that out. Because did we not learn anything from the Seth Rollins Becky Lynch? Yeah, but it's gonna be different this time. It's gonna be different this time. We're gonna do this instead. It's like, yeah, do we really need to? You know, can't we just kind of let them be? Because for me these days, it just kind of seems like a cheap tactic. A cheap tactic from the standpoint of it comes off exhausting. Well, we can't figure out anything else to do. So, well, you know, this girl wrestles. They're both wrestlers. They're on the same show. Let's go there. That just, I'm trying not to shit on it. I mean, it's still early. I'm trying to hold off, but I just feel that sometimes when you put couples together, sometimes it just, for me, it just comes off kind of lazy or whatever. But you know, I'm willing to bite this. I'm willing to see where, you know, this is pretty much going to go. And the way things are kind of leading right now, seems everything's going to be culminating in TakeOver when the Garganos will be taking on Keith Lee and Mia Yim. So, hey, look, I'm not knocking the match. I mean, all those talents, I mean, that should be a damn good matchup. Karrion Kross, that entrance, fucking killer. Seeing Tommaso Ciampa come back, that was a nice little exchange that the two of them had. Ciampa letting them know, you and me, we're going to have a match at TakeOver. Welcome to the main event. Basically calling himself the main event. That should be a damn good fucking matchup. Looking forward to that. Fucking Tommaso looks fucking awesome, as always. As far as people that impressed me the most, as far as their cardiovascular, you know, workout techniques, all that shit, Tommaso really fucking stands out to me the most. And Karrion Kross, fucking beast. I cannot wait for everybody that has yet to get an opportunity to see what he is capable of. You weren't watching the big bulk of his stuff in Impact and all that. I can't wait for you guys to see what this guy can do. You guys are in for a fucking treat. Roderick Strong had defeated Dexter Lumis. Had a little bit of help from some of his Undisputed guys. Velveteen Dream coming in there, returning a favor there. You know, we were kind of wondering, how was Velveteen Dream gonna respond to Dexter Lumis? You know, was he gonna look at what went down with Lumis's interference last week as, man, you cost me a shot? Or you were just trying to do the right thing, you were just trying to have my back and I appreciate it, didn't need the help, but it's whatever. And we kind of got our answer here. So, you know, Velveteen Dream, no butthurt feelings whatsoever. He actually came to the save there for Dexter Lumis when it was a numbers game. And by the way, I love how all that was set up too. I love just the psychotic, the sadistic nature that they really did a good job. They being WWE, I love how they really heightened just how out of mind Dexter Lumis is, because post match, when you know all this shit is going on with the fucking beatdown that he's getting from Adam Cole, who else was there? Roderick Strong, I think Bobby Fish might have been there as well. But Lumis had somebody in a neck submission hold. And Cole and the other guy, they're yelling. It was one of their Undisputed buddies. And Cole and them, they're yelling at him, get your fucking hands off him. And they're hitting him. And he just continues to be unfazed. I love how he was no selling that shit. And he just continues to have this glazed, sadistic look in his eyes. And Cole is literally yelling at him, if you don't fucking let him go, I'm paraphrasing, he's like, if you don't fucking let him go, like, kick your damn head off. Dexter is still applying it, so Cole kicks the shit out of him in the head, and Dexter still has that fucking hold on, and then that's when Velveteen Dream comes. I loved all of that. I like the fact that they're taking this Dexter character, and I get it, Dexter, Showtime, Dexter, alright, I get it. Yeah, basically, this is still, for you Impact Wrestling fans, this is still a continuation of the Samuel Shaw character from Impact. I mean, that's all it is. It's just under a different name. You know, but it's the same goddamn character. I mean, He's got a great fucking look, though. A great fucking look. You gotta try to capitalize. You gotta try to capitalize on the young man that looks like that. But other than that, good show. You know, yeah, they had, for me, I think one of the buzzkills, they had way too many squash matches. I would have to say, couple of good matches at the same time. Main event was good. They did a good job in furthering the storylines there. I will give them that. They did a good job in furthering the storyline, particularly Io Shirai, Ripley, Charlotte. They did a good job with that. They did a good job furthering the storyline between Riddle, Thatcher, as next week on NXT they're gonna face off in a cage fight. You know, submission, or what was it? Submission, or is it pinfall? Can't remember if it's I'm trying to think if it's pinfall. Can't remember right now. I can't remember right now. But I know this is a match that Thatcher basically wanted, because he wanted for there to be no fucking controversy whatsoever. I almost want to say there is no pinfalls in this, because I remember that's one thing that needs to improve, by the way. Thatcher's promos. If you guys are, this is how you can tell who's really been paying attention. Look, I'll be the first to tell you, because I was watching a big bulk of Thatcher's wrestling over in MLW, and as far as a promo guy goes, not exactly something that suited him, being perfectly honest. Bit exposed more with WWE there. Yeah, not too, he'll get there. I mean, seems like he's coming along. Seems like it's better in comparison to MLW, but no, they're going to be having a cage fight next week. And if I remember it right, no pinfall, because he didn't want that silly ass shit. He didn't like what went down last week with the pinfall just out of nowhere. So, also, let's see, I'm trying to think here. I don't care about that dude. I was getting ready to say something about Cameron Grimes. Andrew Everett, as I remember him, I still don't give a fuck about that dude. I know I skipped over the interim matches, but at the same time, I told you guys how they got that bracket going on, that triple threat bracket. So it is where it is. I can't wait for this to be over with, this tournament, because the tournament just, it does nothing for me whatsoever. You know what would have made the tournament interesting? And shout out to Shaba. Shaba is saying that cage fight, no pinfall, submission or knockout only. What would have made the tournament interesting would have been if we got to see just a bunch of new cats. You know, do it like the first ever CWC tournament. Do it just like that. If we could have got a case where this go around, I would probably be even more invested in it. But, you know, a lot of the people that I'm seeing in it so far, especially with Phantasma, you know, not for nothing, I've seen a bit of his stuff off and on over the years, and I mean, it's so funny. The guy's finally in WWE. Yeah, you hear that? As a matter of fact, let me as a matter of fact let me do this justice. Let me do this fucking justice. Where's my sound? Where's my sound here? All the people for years, Phantasma would be great in WWE. Phantasma needs to go to WWE. Phantasma needs to go to WWE. Oh man, you see fucking, he killed it in fucking WWE. You need to fucking go to WWE. Alright, he's finally in WWE. And what's going on with the fans? I'll tell you exactly what's going on with the fans. Now wait a minute. Surely when it comes to Phantasma in this tournament, surely everybody's just rocking and raving and just, what's everybody saying on social media? I mean, it's fucking crazy what's going on, man. Seriously. You know, all that fucking hype people were doing, you know, I know the verdict is still out, but I tell you what's getting played out real fucking quick. Was getting played out real fucking quick. How many fucking times do you have to do what you do? Wrestle, whatever. You're outside. And you ain't got the common sense. Oh, you know what? I need to have security with me. I need to make sure security personally escorts me to my vehicle or escort me here. Because every time I turn around, some weirdos in a fucking vehicle roll up to me. And I don't know if they're trying to kidnap me, gang rape me. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but yeah, it's not fucking cool. I mean, we don't see this dude get jumped at least fucking, I swear, 5 times already, including this week. I swear at least 5 times. 1, who the hell is doing this? 2, what is up with the security detail? They're at Full Sail. 3, what is up with Phantasma not having his own fucking personal security? I mean, I know Atlas isn't available right now. They're tending to everybody in fucking AEW, but seriously, what the fuck? So, I mean, that shit's getting real fucking played out. I mean, you had better odds of not getting jumped backstage playing fucking SmackDown 2 than what's going on with fucking Phantasma each week. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous what's going on with that fucking dude, man. But yeah, both shows, you know, a couple of bright spots in some area, low points in many areas for both shows. But at the same time, despite the fact that AEW 5 matches, NXT for relatively about the same amount of matches, you know, AEW, you know, it was really just 2 matches, 1 really good talking segment that you really felt invested in if you knew your veteran wrestlers, and that was essentially it. But I think will probably also help AEW too, the fact that they've got the wrestlers, some of the producers that's acting as backup crowds, and so you're kind of interested in seeing how they're interacting with the talents, the shit that they might be saying and all that. So now I didn't look at the ratings yet, but I have the numbers ready to look at. That sounds kind of tricky, doesn't it? Some of you guys are probably saying, how can you have the ratings ready, but you didn't look at it? Simple. Keyed in, hey, AEW ratings for, and I see the title, hey, newest blah 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 ratings are out. Okay, so I have that loaded up, ready to go. So I'm going to say, just based off what I saw this week, I'm going to say, and let me get a notepad ready here. I'm going to say AEW beat NXT. I'm going to say AEW did, I'm going to say AEW 679,000. And I'll say for NXT, oh man. I'll say NXT is, I'm going to say NXT is 467,550. And that's final. So again, AEW for this week, I'm saying 679,000. NXT, 467,550. So let's see how we did with the ratings numbers here. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Survey says, according to Showbuzz Daily. Okay, so with regards to last night, Dynamite scored its lowest numbers to date since the show debuted on TNT. Dynamite managed to climb back up in the go-home show ahead of Saturday's Double or Nothing event, Meanwhile, NXT saw its numbers decrease further. Okay. While last week saw record low numbers for AEW Dynamite, despite still coming out ahead of NXT, this week's show saw an increase in overnight viewership. The average overnight audience was 701,000. Oh my God, so close. I said 679,000. Wow, okay, pretty close there. That's up from the 654,000 viewers from last week's episode. Okay. Age demographic, 18 to 49 rating drew a 0.26 rating, which is also an increase from last week's 0.23 rating. Not bad. Last week's key demo rating was another record low for Dynamite. NXT this week finished 592,000. Man, way off. Because I said 467,550. All right, but NXT this week finished 592,000 for its overnight audience for this week, down from last week's 604,000. That's not much of a huge loss, but interesting. For NXT, the key demo dropped. This week's show pulled a 0.13 in the 18 to 49 key demo, which is a decrease from last week's 0.15. This is NXT's lowest rating ever since the show debuted on USA. Now, for those of you that really want to feel good about AEW even more, the broadcast this week landed in the top 10 rankings for the cable top 150 shows this week, coming in at number 7. That's pretty damn good. Last week it was at 15. This week it moved up to 7. That's pretty damn good. NXT, meanwhile, fell out of the top 50 again, dropping from last week's number 46 to 53. Ouch. So what did we learn? And it goes beyond the AEW is better than NXT. You know, it goes beyond that. You know, what's very interesting right now, you know, you can't help but wonder if, okay, well, that's great that NXT has some of these stars that I like watching, but, okay, aside from that, like if you ask me straight up what I think the problem is with NXT right now, especially these past couple of weeks, I think it's the tournament. Yeah, unfortunately, names that people don't care about. It's for what title? Because I wouldn't put it past that WWE fan who is so excited when that CWC tournament had came around, and then once that tournament was over, how quickly that title had got devalued. I mean, let's really stop and think about this now. Pac, Austin Aries, Enzo. Man, I'll even put Drew Gulak in there. Tony Nese. But those other guys, grade A good. 205 Live show. Just that whole thing with that title. Everything surrounding it just didn't go over well. It just did not go over well. And now you expect for people to make the investment and give a damn about this title once again. So I wouldn't be surprised if a big part of the problem was that fucking tournament. And then the question becomes, well, you know, what can be done with regards to that tournament? What can be done to try and make it even more exciting? Because, you know, sadly, in a perfect world, we would have new names that would have entered a tournament like this under different circumstances, but we don't have that right now. So it's okay, well, let's work with what we got. And I think the tournament overall is just not clicking with people. I wouldn't be surprised. I guarantee you, and I'll put my money where my mouth is. I will create a poll tomorrow, and I guarantee you that if we were to poll folks and say these past handful of weeks, if you could point out one problem with NXT based on the following, what do you think the problem is? And I bet you the majority would say not feeling the tournament. I guarantee you majority would say not feeling the tournament. I'll probably sit down tomorrow and I'll actually make that poll because I'm most curious what people think with regards to that. But then the question becomes, okay, well, take out the tournament. Now what do we do? Well, that's for y'all to figure out. But y'all got to respond. Y'all definitely need to respond because y'all getting your ass handed to you in the ratings, and not good. So Double or Nothing is going to be happening this Saturday. Let's look at the final card here. Let's see here, Double or Nothing here. Let's look at this final card here. All these matches that we got coming up. I should have had this ready to go. And while I am pulling this up, do me a huge favor. Make sure if you haven't done so already, especially if you're watching the show via YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Helps out YouTube, especially their algorithm, in a huge way. Basically, it helps them. Hey, you like wrestling? Okay. Hey, check this shit out. It's good. Everybody else likes it. Check it out. That's how you do it. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. Double or Nothing 2020 going down this Saturday. It's going down at the Tia Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida, where AEW has been filming their Dynamite episodes these past several weeks. Not happening at the MGM. No, not happening there due to the pandemic. Nope. Dustin Rhodes taking on Shawn Spears. Dustin. I'll go with Dustin. But look for their storyline to continue. Matt Hardy and the Elite. That's Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson. Takes on the Inner Circles, Chris Jericho, Jack Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. Stadium Stampede match. How can I go against the Elite? Seriously, how can I? Matt Hardy debuting on a pay-per-view too. This is his first AEW pay-per-view. I'm not going to bet against that. Nah. In some shape or form, the Elite has been handed their asses week after week after week. They're going to get their just dues here. Apparently, there's a pre-show. Private Party takes on the Best Friends tag team match to determine the number one contender for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Best Friends been on a hell of a good streak, man. And I got to tell you, the quality of their matches as of late, I've really been finding myself getting behind. I got to go with the Best Friends. Dr. Britt Baker taking on Chris Statlander. Singles match. You would like to look at this match and come out of it also saying to yourself, okay, we're gonna kind of need a top babyface to go over, because I might as well spoil it right now. I do not see Nyla Rose dropping that title. I do not see that happening. So you're definitely going to need a relatively strong babyface to go back and forth with her over the next several weeks and everything. And I love Britt Baker. She's coming along, man. I'm telling you, she's coming along while everybody else was shitting on her, telling her to hit the bricks, all that shit. My whole thing was, nah, she got Adam Cole. That's her man. She got other people. She got people in AEW. Stay the course. Yeah, it's a bit rough around the edges. Practice makes perfect. Y'all know that. Right down to the point, I remember there was one show, I think it was the show where they were doing the Jericho Cruise, and she cut the infamous promo And the Tony Schiavone gif. What the fuck? Yeah, that gif. And I remember how everybody was just, I said, no, I saw a lot of potential. Go back and listen to that show. I was complimentary. I did admit it was a bit rough around the edges. I remember saying something along the lines of, you know, she needs to practice in front of her man, practice in front of some people, practice in front of a mirror, you know, whatever. But I remember saying something along those lines, and she's been coming along. Not quite seeing Britt Baker just yet, though. Not just yet. Again, this particular match, from what I see, it has no implications as far as, hey, but I'm just kind of thinking like further down the road, if we're going to try to set up who could potentially be the next contender to face Nyla between these two. I mean, seems to me Statlander would be the way to go. Let me just look at how I'm looking at this so far. So far, I've gone face, 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 face. I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna stick to Chris Statlander. Something is screaming Britt Baker, but I'm gonna stick with Statlander. Nyla Rose takes on Shida. No disqualification, no count out for the AEW Women's World Title. I'm going with DC's own. I gotta go with Nyla Rose. Gotta go with Nyla Rose. Darby Allin versus Colt Cabana versus Orange Cassidy versus Rey Fenix versus Scorpio Sky versus Kip Sabian versus Frankie Kazarian versus Luchasaurus versus to be announced. Casino ladder match for a future AEW World Championship match. Is it safe to say Jon Moxley retains? Just kind of thinking that way. Let's say he retains. Future shot, AEW World Champion. That would be a damn good one. That would be a damn good one. All right, let's do process of elimination here. First off, who is the to be announced? That's my question. Is that to be announced? That could be the person that could win the whole damn thing. But just looking at the names as it is right now. Orange Cassidy, no. Colt Cabana, no. I would love to see Scorpio Sky, but no. Kip Sabian, no. Frankie Kazarian, no. Luchasaurus. Any other, I would say hell yeah, but no. Rey Fenix is jumping out to me a little bit. Just a little bit. Darby Allin. Darby Allin hugely jumps out at me. And man, Darby Allin, Jon Moxley, part 2. Yeah. Would love to see that. Who is the to be announced? See, for me, it's between Darby Allin, Rey Fenix, and whoever that to be announced is. Could it be EC3? Could it be EC3? All signs seem to indicate that we may be seeing EC3 this Saturday at Double or Nothing. I'm going to look at this two ways for you guys. And then I'm going to tell you guys what I'd like to see. All right, let's say no EC3. Just dealing with it as it is. And let's just say the to be announced just... Man, it could be badass Billy Gunn for all we know. Okay? All right. Then the names you want to home in on is Darby Allin, Rey Fenix. Out of that, I got to go with Darby Allin. Because I want to see Jon Moxley, Darby Allin Part 2. Sting ain't doing shit. What is up with you guys in Sting? Sting ain't wrestling. Sting is not wrestling. If Sting is wrestling, hey Google, how old is the wrestler Sting?
61 years old.
61 years old, going on 62. And knowing the health conditions that came about with him and his neck and all that shit, y'all can go on ahead and y'all can. I'm not biting that. No, I'm not biting that. And let me tell you something. I would be shocked on so many levels if Sting were to even entertain the idea of wrestling for another promotion. Because what I gathered from him, not just when I talked to him one-on-one, even though it was a short period of time, but combining when I talked to him, during his Q&A, autograph signing and all that, what he said on his DVD, what he said on the newest little WWE, what was it, Chronicle or whatever, that guy is in a place where he's good. He's enjoying his new wife. God, I think at this point, maybe they've been together like 3 years now or whatever, or 4, whatever. He's enjoying his new wife, his new marriage. He's enjoying, very religious, very faith-based. I'm not seeing, as far as Sting wrestling, I'm not seeing that. As far as, Sting in AEW. Sting in AEW. I'm sorry. I don't go to the beat of everybody else's drum. If you ask me personally, Lee Sanders, Lee, what do you think about Sting in AEW? I would say to you, it's not needed. Next question. Nah, but really, like, Sting, AEW. Well, then my question would be, what exactly is Sting doing in AEW? Is he helping from a producer standpoint? Is he helping from a booking standpoint? Is he helping from a creative standpoint? Is he one of the writers? What exactly is Sting doing in AEW? Once I understand, if he were to sign with AEW, okay, what's his role? What exactly is his role? And then we go from there. Then I can tell you, okay, well, yeah, if I were even to entertain, hey, Sting, AEW. I mean, just given what he said on his DVD and just everything, he just seems like, nah, you know what? I'm good doing a few Q&As here and there. Do a few autograph signings. I'm good. I don't need to be hitting the road and, every single week and, I'm good. He kind of didn't like being on the road as it was when he was younger. Why you think he kept sticking around with TNA all them fucking years? It's because Dixie Carter kept giving him more money. And it was, okay, well, if you want to just waste this money and you want me to work these 30, 40 dates a year, okay, and you paying me how many million? It got to a point where fucking Dixie needed help paying for fucking Sting's contract. He got the fucking network chipping in for fucking Sting's contract and shit. The real question you all should be asking yourselves as fans is, what true value would Sting bring in what position for the company that could overall make the company as a whole do even better than where it was at before. And I'm sorry, I love you guys, but the idea of a wrestler, that's out of the equation. I'm going to say this because we've exhausted this, and I don't ever want to hear this stuff again with Sting. Unless Sting shows up Saturday, then we'll deal with it. But going forward, don't bring up Sting in AEW again. This is my message. And I'm not being a dick. I'm trying to have you guys use common sense. Ask yourselves this question. Hypothetically speaking, if Sting could wrestle, then why in the blue fuck didn't WWE throw whatever money, meet his number, get him to do XYZ? Sting has spent years, even as most recent as when he was at Awesome Con from last year, during his whole Q&A, he would love a match with The Undertaker. Now, I don't know if he's gotten that fusion neck surgery yet, because basically once he gets that surgery, that's it for his neck. That is it for his neck. Like, he cannot wrestle. Sting said for a couple of years, hey, Undertaker, yeah, man, if I could just, I kind of held off getting the surgery because, kind of, Undertaker. Okay, well, we just saw the Boneyard match, did we not? So you could actually kind of do something with Sting and Undertaker if you were to do it cinematic style. So kind of having all of that in the back of your mind right now. And if the reports are true that Sting's contract with WWE, Legends deal, whatever it was, if it did expire, number one, who's at fault for that? Number two, hopefully they sat down with the icon. Hey, XYZ, what do you see? Because this is what we like to see happen. If they weren't matching up, then they weren't matching up. So, but if he could wrestle, then it makes all the sense in the world from WWE's perspective to have him sign on the dotted line and get him to. Now, flip side to that. Let's flip that. Let's be devil's advocate a little bit. You could also have WWE saying, hey, you may want to wrestle. We don't want you to wrestle. Knowing what's going on, with your neck and all that, your spine, we don't want to risk it. So, we don't want to do it. No, we can't. Okay, so Sting wrestling in AEW. Okay, so what he's trying to go out the proper way? What? Sting has not striking me ever in the interviews, and I've listened to him all in the interviews that he's given over the years. He does not strike me as someone that I have the itch. I want to wrestle again. He doesn't strike me as that. He does not. So I've exhausted the hell out of that more than I needed to. I'm sorry, guys. Let's keep rocking and rolling. All right. Next up. Oh, then did I give a definitive? Okay, so I'm looking at Darby Allin. Because that to be announced, it could be badass Billy Gunn for all we know. I'll say Darby Allin, but EC3 could be the guy that's announced. And if it's EC3, what better way to put a rocket on the back of a dude, get a lot of people talking, a lot of buzz and all that. EC3 wins. EC3 versus Jon Moxley. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty damn good. Jon Moxley versus Brody Lee for the AEW World Title. Come on, you should already know by now. I'm going with Moxley. Moxley is still the hot hand right now. Honestly, I'm gonna take it a step further. Brody Lee can be the exalted one and all this other shit all he wants, but for me right now, oof, it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough to look at right now. I got to be honest. I want Moxley as clear away from Brody Lee as possible. It's not really doing anything for me. It's really not. I hope they have a good match, though. I really do. I've enjoyed the storyline, but there's just, I guess because, and to AEW's credit, they're trying to back away from it now, but I didn't like how from the jump, the mocking of Vince McMahon, that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it made me lose a little bit of faith in how AEW was doing this. You know, trying to set up Brody Lee, trying to set him up for greener pastures and all that. But I don't know. I don't know. It kind of seems as though they're trying to get back on the proper track. Too little, too late. I don't really know. Your guess is as good as mine. But hey, Brody Lee, one thing he is showing without a shadow of doubt, he's a talker. Well-articulated man and everything. I got to tell you, going back to Dynamite of this week, way too much mic time they gave him. Keep it as short and sweet as possible. I'm not saying he's got to be a monster or anything like that, but they gave him way too much talk time. Less talking, the better. They should have cut him by about 5 minutes. MJF taking on Jungle Boy. I'm going to go with MJF. Based on what we saw this week, I think all signs point to eventually MJF feuds with Luchasaurus. Wouldn't mind seeing that feud go down. I'm going to go with MJF over Jungle Boy. Cody taking on Lance Archer. Tournament final for the inaugural AEW TNT Championship. Archer. I'm going with Lance Archer for your new TNT. AEW TNT champion. I got to go with Archer. How do you build up this guy? That's what I'm trying to understand here. How do you continue to build up this guy? You build him up, you build him up, you build him up. Give me a second here, guys. I got an update that's trying to do something here. Could have sworn I just saw it here. Yes, I did. Hang on a second here. Because if I don't address this now, we're going to have a restart. Hang on here. Yeah, because we're actually almost done with the show. So let's say we'll have it end by this time. That's perfect. Okay. And it's on. Okay, great. Awesome. That was a close one. Okay, because it was about to restart there. So, Cody, yeah, how do you build up a guy like Lance Archer? That's what I'm trying to understand. You build him up, you build him up, you build him up. Okay, we're serving him up on the platter here. He's fresh out the oven. And you feed him to Cody only to knock him down? I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of that. I think the way that they've been building up Lance Archer so far, these past several weeks since he's come to AEW, I think it's been great. You got to continue to build off of that. Okay, man. Fuck, if Cody wasn't able to beat this guy, who can? Who else could fucking stop this guy? So, Lance Archer, and I got to tell you, I would love to see in the very near future Lance Archer, John Moxley. I think that would be a killer, insane fucking matchup. But I'm going with Lance Archer. All right, let's recap. Once again, Dustin Rhodes over Shawn Spears. The Elite over Inner Circle. Best Friends over Private Party. Statlander over Britt Baker. Nyla retains her women's title over Shida. I'm going for Darby Allin in the Casino ladder match. However, if it's announced that EC3 is the cat that's to be announced or to be determined, EC3 wins the whole thing. So remember how I'm looking at it. I want to make sure I'm going on record here. That to be announced slot could go to somebody. It could go to Badass Billy Gunn. It could go to Sonny Kiss. It could fucking go to the Peter Avalon. You get what I'm saying? It could go to somebody that's already on the roster. We just haven't seen them in a while. And it's kind of like, who is it? Who is it? Fuck you. Could be one of those type of deals. So, in the event it is that somebody that's already on the roster, I'm saying look for Darby Allin to win. However, if that last slot goes to somebody we weren't expecting, somebody that's not on the roster, and EC3's been making a lot of rumors. He's been sparking up the social media like a mofo, especially with some of the cryptic videos he's been putting out there. It could be him. If he is announced, I'm going to say he wins. Moxley retains over Brody Lee. MJF defeats Jungle Boy. Archer defeats Cody. That's how I'm looking at it for Double or Nothing. So we'll see what goes down. I cannot see how long we've been recording now. Normally my record feature is up and running, but that bad boy is... Ooh! It ain't working for some reason tonight. So let me see how long we've been streaming, because I know we've been on for a while, but we had the stream get interrupted. So let me see what's going on with the show so far since we've been live for you guys here. See how long we've been on the air. See, does it tell? Does it tell? So no, it's probably Facebook that'll probably tell me. Hi, Facebook. How you guys doing? Because we're still streaming on multiple platforms here. So let me see what's going on with Facebook here. Because it kind of feels like we've been on about an hour. Feels like it's been almost 2 hours we've been on the air here. So let me see what's going on here. Loading this up. And while I got this loading up, here we go. Here we go. We got Facebook. Oh, that's not bad at all. Okay, so at this point, I'm seeing that with the restart we did, we've been going for about an hour and 38 minutes. So we're almost done. At this point, actually, I've only got maybe 2, maybe 3 more little news items I want to share with you guys, and then we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up. Impact Wrestling. I did watch Impact Wrestling for this week. I sadly did not get a chance to watch NWA Carneyland. I'll actually be watching that this weekend, and I'll give thoughts about it on Monday's show. But Impact Wrestling this week, a couple of key matches I want to bring to you guys' attention. Not a full-blown recap, but Ace Austin, he's growing on me. I'm really liking the guy. He defeated Rhino in a Impact World Championship #1 contender tournament quarterfinals match, so he advanced. Crazy Steve defeated Dave Chris. Remember Dave Chris? Dave Chris is part of fucking OVE and everything. And that was, you gotta pay attention to that one, because Dave Chris, and bear with me a second here, because I'm kind of getting a brain fart, and it happens. We're live, we're on the air. The beer's starting to get to me a little bit here, and there's a reason why I want to stay with that for a little bit, because it really looks like OVE is pretty much over and done with. We see Sami Callihan, he showed his true colors when he resurfaced recently, and he actually had attacked those guys during his, what was it? Was it his Rebellion match that he had? The street fight match that he had with Ken Shamrock? You know, and they tried to help him out, and he didn't want their help. He beat the shit out of them and was going at it alone and everything. But it looks like, with regards to the Chris brothers, and I can't think of the big guy right now. There's a big dude that's in OVE, and they're over and done with. Matter of fact, bear with me a second here, because I want to make sure I fucking give that big dude, I want to make sure I give him some justice and mention his fucking name properly here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it the hard way. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. The big guy in OVE. Maybe if I say OVE TNA, I got it right now, so I don't need it anymore. The guy, Madman Fulton. That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah, so Madman Fulton, he's been a little bit tired of the back and forth bickering that's been going on with the Chris brothers over the past couple of weeks, and things pretty much had culminated in that one match I had just mentioned to you guys. And he pretty much said, you guys, no, fuck y'all, I'm out. And they're like, nah, you can't ditch us, you can't leave us. And he's pretty much like, nah, I'm fucking done with you guys. I'm done with this. Fuck OVE. And so he's done. So he's out of it. Crazy Steve, again, defeating Dave Chris. So apparently, per Impact, the storyline, Crazy Steve has officially re-signed with the company. Not really sure how I feel about that. He looks phenomenal. He's in the best shape I've seen him in from his last run in Impact Wrestling. I wasn't really that much of a fan of Crazy Steve back then. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a fan of his right now, but that could change. That could change. I mean, let's see what happens. TJP and Fala Bala defeated Triple XL. Moose had a rematch against Suicide. Granted, talked about this match last week. I don't want you guys thinking deja vu. These two guys, they did, yes, fight on last week's Impact. However, Moose, who was interviewed by Josh Matthews early on to open up this week's Impact, and I'm telling you, Moose, I said it last week, I'll say it again, he is the fucking MVP of Impact Wrestling right now. He makes, if I could point out one thing, even to somebody that is anti-TNA, anti-Impact Wrestling, if I could just, to that one person that would say, I'd be willing to watch Impact, but give me the right person to watch. Show me something I would definitely get into. I would say go out of your way, check out Moose, because Moose has been making shit very interesting. You don't even need to watch. I'm like this. You don't even need to watch Impact Wrestling in real time. You can easily just have it on your DVR, come back to it on your next day off from work or whatever, right? And then, just fast forward, just look for Moose's parts. And who knows, maybe Moose's parts will have you piggy on back and say, okay, well, that was good. Let me see what's up with the rest of the show. But Moose has been making it fucking interesting so far. But the interview that he had with Josh Matthews this week, Josh putting it so politely to Moose, all due respect, but you got this title from a warehouse, wherever, definitely a warehouse last I checked, and you're going around, you're calling yourself a champion. It's nothing more than a prop. And the way they had Moose and storyline counter all that shit. Okay, well, if that's true, why is the ring announcer recognizing this championship? And why is the bell keeper, how come where I'm having my matches, and Josh, I mean, he was bringing up some legit logic, and Josh, okay, yeah, those are really good points. You kind of got me there. And so Josh went on ahead and entertained what Moose was putting out there, and he said to him, okay, all right, so hypothetically speaking here, okay, so since this title was on the line last week against Suicide, and he was pretty close to defeating you, would you be willing to give him another shot for that title? And he was like, okay, what type of champion we got here in Moose? Is he a chicken shit kind of? And Moose said, I'm a fighting champion. I'm the main event. Yeah, I'd be willing to give him another shot. Sure, I'll give him another shot at the title. But the result is going to be the same. Me coming out on top. So, we had a return match from last week. Moose defeating Suicide yet again. Moose did a little bit of cheating here. He definitely did a little bit of cheating here. But, man, the way he fucking did the ring announcer, the referee, the bell keeper, it was like he was fucking Martin Scorsese or some shit, and he was just, you over here, you. It was like he was fucking Tom Brady, just fucking, clock management shit, and he was just telling everybody where they needed to be as they were to announce his grand, spectacular entrance and all that shit. Michael Elgin defeated Sami Callihan. in the Impact World Championship #1 Contender Tournament quarterfinal. Kind of surprised that we got this match so early, because this was basically the first round. So I'm trying to understand Impact's logic here, because for me, it would have made all the sense in the world to, well, wait a minute, let's really kind of build this up properly, and let's go ahead and, you know, if these two guys are eventually going to face off, let's have this go down later on in the rounds. Why are we doing this in the first round? That doesn't quite make a lot of sense. And then the other thing where I got to stay on top of the consistency here, correct me if I'm wrong, but unless Ken Shamrock got ran over by a fucking monster truck by Michael Elgin last week, Ken Shamrock should have been somewhere on this episode trying to get retribution for the cheap ass assault Elgin took on him on the last episode of Impact. So I'm a little bit dumbfounded with that right there. So I mean, see where I'm going with. So I mean, if anything, what should have happened was Shamrock should have interfered, and basically through his interference cost Elgin the opportunity to advance further in the tournament. These two guys pick up, you know, right where they left off. You know, now that you've done this, you can't help but wonder, okay, well, if Sammy's, that's it for Sammy. Okay, so Elgin, all right, so how's this really shaping up? Who's really going to be the decisive victor here to be the #1 contender? So kind of questionable how they did that there. Impact X Division match was on the line as well. So you had a little bit of something for everybody on this episode. Willie Mack defeated Johnny Swinger. I still cannot get into Johnny Swinger. I like Willie Mack though, so great to see Willie Mack coming out on top. I felt as though this was probably the second. Was it the second show or? No, I don't think Willie Mack closed out Impact Wrestling this week, because I did a lot of fast forwarding. I don't think he closed. I know he closed out last week's Impact. I don't think he closed out this week's Impact. I believe Elgin and Callahan, if I remember it right, they closed out Impact for this week. But overall, you know, pretty good show. Opening, closing matches for this week. Pretty good. Nice good stuff in between. The Moose interview, that was fucking killer. I gotta give them props. I gotta give Impact a lot of props. How they've been utilizing their shows in an empty arena format. They've been making the best out of the situation. They've been making it very entertaining. I never thought I would like the combination of Josh Matthews and Madison Rain commentating, but they've been doing pretty damn good together, flowing very well with each other. Got to give them a lot of props. Also, while we're still talking about Impact, they launched a new Access TV show. Apparently, it's going to be dropping June the 2nd. It's called Impact in 60. So if you guys got about an hour, really 45 minutes to spare, check it out. It's going to be on Access TV. It's going to be on Tuesdays following each new episode of Impact Wrestling. And it's basically going to be a documentary type of show that's going to be looking at the history of Impact, going as far back to its TNA Asylum days, pretty much going back up to the present. It's going to be going over key factions. Gino, what's up, man? Thank you for the super chat, bro. It's going to be going after wrestlers, you know, championships, factions, different match types. So I'm actually going to be watching it. If you're asking me straight up, am I going to be checking that out? I will be checking that out. So I think that's awesome that they're branching out the way that they are, because on top of Access TV, they still got their relationship with Twitch. And I reminded you guys, I think on the show earlier this week, we actually have been somewhat of a partner of Impact Wrestling on Twitch for a long time now. So in between showing me playing games on Twitch, you could go on my Twitch channel at any time and you can actually watch some old school Impact Wrestling content. And, you know, it's not much. It's just enough to whet your appetite to try to sign up for Impact Plus. But, man, shit, just the other day, I was watching something involving... Because when I saw it, I said, shit, what are the odds of that? I want to say I was watching something with AJ Styles taking on Jeff Jarrett. And I was like, oh, wow, hey, I haven't seen that in a good minute. I got some DVDs I got to watch too, by the way. You guys know what I'm talking about from the picture I had showed on social media. Also, so check that out. Again, that's going to be Tuesdays beginning June 2nd, Impact and 60. You guys can check that out. All right. Also, let's wrap things up with two things. One, the shit that's going on with Vince Russo. And we talked about this on the Wednesday show. You guys, kind of get some of you guys caught up to speed that didn't watch Wednesday's show. Wednesday, we were reviewing the Dark Side of the Ring episode on Owen Hart. And long story short, somebody brought up the fact that, Russo is to blame for this, blah, 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 blah. And you got a lot of people that are on social media, Russo, so bad. Russo's kid, and let me really stress this, he might be his son, but he's not a little kid, he's a grown-ass man, but still, just the fact that people would stoop so low, individuals actually sent death threats and all that to Vince Russo's kid. Again, he might be a grown-ass man, but really? We're taking it that far that we're sending death threats? Not directly to the person that is in question, that should be the subject of the matter, but we're sending it to his family his other family members? What the fuck? So I saw what Vince Russo had put out there. He said, hey, sadly, I did not get a chance to watch the Dark Side of the Ring episode on Owen. And he asked people to get him caught up to speed and everything, let him know what he had missed and everything. And somebody had actually asked him the question about, hey, what the fuck, with the rigging company, what the fuck? And I actually took a couple of screenshots. I'm not showing it to you guys, but I should show it. Oh, hang on a second here, guys. I just told you to reschedule. For some reason, it's trying to do the update now. Hang on a second here, guys. Let's see here. Let's just say that. And that's it. You shouldn't be bugging me again. All right. But I got the screenshot here. And two things I want you guys to know, because we did touch upon it again on the review. One of the things I mentioned, hey, some people weren't featured. Where was Brett? Where was this? You could have also said, well, this was during Russo's era, right? What's going on with Russo? Russo said this on Twitter. He didn't tweet and delete unlike some people. I was not asked to be on the Owen doc. Owen's Descend was never written into the original show. So again, let's home in on that. I wasn't asked to be on the Owen doc. All right, so that's the first part. Now, new sentence. Owen's Descend was never written into the original show. So he's letting you know right there, hey, what went down at that pay-per-view, and forgive me, I do have one little correction. I said Over the Limit. Didn't mean confusion. Over the Edge was the name of the pay-per-view, 1999, Owen Hart. All right. Owen's Descend was never written into the original show, that original show being Over the Edge. It was added after the WWE operations manager called me and asked if I could write a spot into the show so WCW Sting riggers could show what they could do for WWE. That's why it was added. Now, Further along. Somebody asked the question, why wasn't the show stopped though? It's a good question. Russo, you're asking the wrong guy. I was just the head writer, producer. You'd have to ask the owner of the company. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that Russo is receiving the amount of hate and all that shit that's coming his way because, and look, I'm not defending Russo in any type of way, but even those that have had their differences with Russo over the years will tell you it's very easy to, oh, what happened in TNA? Oh, who was behind it at the time? Writing? Who was producing? Russo? Well, there's your problem. It was Russo. Blame Russo. WCW? Whose fault is that? Who's the writer there? Russo? Blame Russo. Yeah, some of that shit in WWE, WWF, Russo? Rinse, repeat. It's easy. He's been the scapegoat for many, many years. I actually did take time out after I got done with the show Wednesday to see if I could pull up the episode of what I thought was Truth with Consequences when Russo went in depth about Owen and everything, and I could not find it. I am gonna continue because I know he talked about it on the episode right down to the point. I'll actually reach out to Matt Coon. Matt Coon probably once in the blue moon I tweet him, and I actually am supposed to be working with him real soon because I got him. I'm trying to get him to work on some new music. I want something new for the RCWR show, and he's the guy I'm looking at right now. So I'll actually touch base with him, and y'all can do it as well. And you know, whoever does it first, I know once I hit him up, hopefully he'll get back to me in a timely manner. But I'll definitely share it if he responds. But I know it was an episode of Truth with Consequences that he did with Matt Coon, and they went in depth about Owen and that accident. I'm like 80% positive that they went over it. And I want to single that out more because it was longer than just a soundbite. Because I know there's already some stuff on social media that's out there. Like if you type in Vince Russo Owen Hart on YouTube, you'll find some stuff from previous shoot interviews, things of that nature. But that's come on, guys. We're supposed to be better than that. 2020, we're supposed to be better than that. And you got problems with somebody. I get that. I get that. But take your problems up directly with that individual. Don't do no punk ass, bitch ass move like that where, you know, you're going around their back and you're going to their family members, and that makes you come off not just like an asshole, but it also makes you come off like a stalker. It makes you come off mentally ill on so many levels. Come on, man, be better than that. And you wonder why some wrestling fans get the type of stigma that they do. It's examples like what I just talked about. Now, one other thing I want to bring to you guys' attention here, the CZW shit that's going on. So, Lufisto, God, who hasn't? Jordan Grace, who hasn't voiced their concerns about this? And the more and more that I was hearing about this, the more and more sickening I just felt in my stomach about this. So let's really set this up properly for you guys. Okay, so you had Jordan Grace, you had Lufisto, Tessa Blanchard. I mean, it's like a who's who of girls that have vocally expressed their disgust and their displeasure over CZW and how they decided to do business with other companies. All right. So CZW, they did issue a statement, less than 30 something hours later over recent derogatory pay-per-view titles. And the statement that they put out there, this blanket statement, it was such a bullshit statement that they put out there. It was almost kind of like they were saying, hey, we made this deal with this other company, so don't be coming and pointing the finger at us. It's not our fault. Pull a Gene Snitsky line there. But this company is under such great scrutiny right now, it's not even funny, because the talent that used to work for them, they're being featured on these pay-per-view specials that are being retitled as basically softcore porn titles. Softcore porn titles. So take, for instance, CZW Girls, All Assets Revealed. Or CZW Girls, Top Heavy and Tough. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And so you stop and think, for the longest time, there's been wrestling promotions. I don't even call them wrestling promotions. They can call themselves wrestling promotions. I don't call them wrestling promotions. But you've got these promotions that, for $15, you can choose the girl that you want to see wrestle in a bikini against this other girl. And they'll be rubbing oil on each other and all this other shit. True story, because we still take advertising slots on the show. I'm just all about trying to find the right people that I think you guys would really be interested in. I had many years ago one client, and they were mad as fuck that I wouldn't work with them. I had this one company that reached out to me. What I just described to you, that was their forte. And I told them very politely. I said, hey, I appreciate you reaching out. Hey, I got a pair of eyes. I have emotions. I have feelings. And, when I see a woman, I think a certain way sometimes. It's like, but I have enough respect for myself and for those women that I'm not gonna say and do shit out loud. Like, nah, I can't promote this. Like, this comes off very sleazy, and for my love and support of women's wrestling, like, nah, this is very degrading. It's like, I'm not knocking your promotion. It's just, I don't feel comfortable promoting this. I was very transparent with them. No, well, what we're doing, it's really pro wrestling, and, we have great matches, and you don't understand, you just need to give us a shot. And I said, look, all due respect, you told me to check out your site. I checked out your site. You got these women acting like they're fighting to figure out who's going to come out on top and who's going to be carpet munching the other one. You got fucking tops and bottoms that's just sometime during the match. All these matches I saw enough. Tops are coming off. Bottoms are coming off. Sexual positions. Simulating shit. I'm like, you have no idea the type of audience, that my base consists of. Like, I can't promote this shit. Like, seriously, I can't promote this. Like, what you're promoting is straight up XXX porn. Like, I can't promote it. And they were mad like a motherfucker. And I'm like, hey, it is what it is. Like, have a nice day. So, to see CZW, excuse me, you gotta forgive me my aligners here. To see this promotion, basically, this is the blanket statement that they had put out there, right? 2 years ago, CZW entered into a licensing agreement with a national media distributor to license CZW and WSU footage. That company has the right to utilize the footage without limitation. They have repackaged and renamed shows as it is their right to do so. Our athletes, regardless of gender, are just that. Athletes, whom we are proud of and appreciate. We stand behind the ring action and all our footage. What the fuck? What the fuck? Come on. Come on. Is that the best you got? Is that the best you got? Give me all you got. Give me all you got. Because if that was your best shot of a statement in trying to stay face, you fucking blew it on so many levels. You gotta, if you don't have Twitter, you gotta see this. Just the ultra combo of scrutiny that these guys had got for this statement. DJ Hyde especially. Jordan Grace, Kimberly, Tara Calloway, LaFista, many of them went out there, put these motherfuckers to task, telling them, hey, never signed any type of paperwork, never struck any type of deal where likeliness, all of that was going to be licensed to a third party. No. And a lot of them have already gotten in contact with their lawyers. If there was ever a time to get in contact with Stephen P. Pugh or Stephen P. New, whatever that lawyer is that coordinated them, stay fucking plugging all the damn time. And I know I'm following him. I mean, I've already got a lawyer. I got a friend of the family that happens to be a lawyer, but I've been hearing so much about Steven. I'm like, okay, you know what? Just to kind of have somebody on the fucking, on the Rolodex, that'd be fucking awesome. Yeah, Stephen P. New. Man, if there was ever a time where this guy's probably gonna have like fucking booming business, it's right now. Because yeah, all these girls are saying, no, never struck up any type of deal. This is bullshit. What the fuck? I never made any agreements with a third party to allow my likeliness and promote me as a softcore adult film actress. What the fuck? So yeah, DJ Hyde, all of them are under fucking scrutiny. I can read to you guys just a couple of the comments that some of the girls had made. Kimberly, and I'm certain I never signed an agreement giving you the right to sell my intellectual property, nor did any of the women you are blatantly disrespecting, or how you told us all you wouldn't book us if you wouldn't fuck us. It's about time the harassment gets exposed. Jordan Grace, just so everyone is aware, there are many women already speaking to lawyers about this, as releases were not signed to authorize licensing footage for profit and distribution. Tara Calloway, fuck CZW. Fuck them for trashing women that work for them. Fuck the dipshit owner that broke my neck and didn't give a fuck. Fuck hiding behind bullshit excuses instead of owning up to your mistakes. Fuck screwing over the boys. Jesus Christ, it's not hard to be a good person. Of course, LaFisto, somebody I respect tremendously, fan of hers for many years, washing your hands from everything, not your fault. Of course, as long as you got your money from Stonecutter Media, nothing else matters. You don't give a shit about anyone who ever performed for you. Proof right here. Bullshit. Chrissy, just a thought to the current women who work for CZW or WSU. If you have any self-value, think twice about working for a toxic place like this. You don't want to be in the situation we are currently in. A place that was once fun, positive, and empowering is now tainted. Last time I checked, none of the women signed over their likeliness being used. And this is just the most, and when you look up fucking DJ Hyde and all that shit, I mean, he looks like fucking Harvey Weinstein. I wish I was ribbing you guys, but when you look at him, you go, oh yeah, he looks like Harvey Weinstein right before the allegations went down and he went to jail. Because now when you look at him, you go, damn, he looks like shit. He tore up. But he literally looks like Harvey Weinstein right before he went to jail. Looks like a creepy fucking bastard on so many levels. I know we shouldn't be, quick to judge people just based on the appearance and all of that, not till you really get to know somebody and everything. But not for nothing, there's a couple of pictures that's floating around where some of the pictures that he's taking of the women that are supposed to be wrestling, it's obvious what the hell he's looking at. Some of these matches, you know, bra panties or whatever, yeah, I'd be pissed too. I'd be pissed too if a promotion did not work out with me. You know, it's easy to sum this up perfectly, and I have a feeling these girls know what the fuck they're talking about. But can you just imagine, you know, you're working with one employer and you don't get a heads up that, oh, hey, look, you know, we've been acquired or we're now working with this other company. So now that we're working with this other company, you know, we struck out a deal with them where anything that you've done with us, you know, they're going to be able to take that footage, reuse it, and you know, they could do whatever. Oh, okay. Well, what's my cut? Huh? I said, what's my cut? Oh, well, you want to talk to them? It's like, no, I'm talking to you because I struck the deal with you. You know, my likeliness, you know, my character, all that shit, that's just, you know, with you all. So this shit about selling, you know, what the fuck? So I can't wait to see how this shit is going to play out in court. Because this could be, and I'm sure WWE in their own nice little quiet way, I'm sure they're probably going to be watching this as well. But, you know, CZW, WSU, come on, let's be honest. Those promotions, they ain't what they used to be. They ain't what they used to be. And that's the God's to honest truth, man. You know, a long fucking time ago, man. You think about some cats that have passed through there. Amazing Red, Trent Acid, Homicide, Johnny Storm. Do I need to continue to go on? Super Dragon, Minoru Fujita, and just go on and on and on. Just, you know, especially when you go back to the early 2000s and shit. Man, that promotion where it is today, man, especially CZW. CZW had so much fucking potential. You know, I peeped up, you know, done my research, kind of checked up on it a couple of times off and on over the years. And it's like, it's not what it used to be. Like, fuck you guys. But there's going to be a day of reckoning, and, you know, trust me, all of these girls, you know, look, I ain't Perry Mason, but if there's one thing I'm going to try to home in on, you know, I'm not trying to be lawyer talk, especially this time of night. But if you were to ask me what I look out for, and you as a fan, you know, what to look out for. One is these talents that signed with CZW, WSU. Whatever contracts they signed with them, I'm curious the language verbatim, and I hope that some of these wrestlers would be so kind. You know, if you really want to get the ball rolling, and it's okay with the lawyer, I would like for some of these wrestlers to really get the ball rolling and actually put the contracts that they signed with CZW and WSU out there. Yeah, you can easily blur out your social and all that other shit, but put the language of these contracts out there so that, you know, all right, it's on file, we got it. And, you know, I have a feeling that once we're able to really sit down and take a look at the paperwork, okay, so said promoter, where does it say you can do as you please with their likeliness, and not only can you sell it to a third party, but it can be retitled any old type of way, and these guys can promote them as blah 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 blah. The correct statement that these guys should have put out there, honestly, I know a thing or two about PR, by the way. The original statement that they should have put out there, first of all, they entered this agreement 2 years ago. Now, as long as we've been on the air, I don't ever recall any of these women ever saying anything about, oh, hey, there's another promotion that has entered a licensing agreement with CZW. So as a result of that, you'll be able to see me through blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah as well. So my first question, was this a under the table type of deal that went down, that went over all of these girls' heads? That's the first question that I honestly pose, because if they've been able to operate for the way they've been operating so far for 2 years now, what was up with the red flag a lot sooner is my first question. Second question, did CZW at any time, and by the looks of it, no, but did they try at any time to put out some type of a statement, reach out to the talents, hey, this is what's going on? Because communication is key. If there was never any communication whatsoever, dead to fucking rights, CZW is definitely gonna have to pony up some fucking money. The fucking, whatever the name of the company is, let me see if I can pull up the name of those guys there. I think Jordan Grace was maybe the one that had said the name of the company. I just had the name too. Stonecutter Media. Okay. Both of those cats are gonna have to pony up some fucking money, big time. But that's what I'm looking at. And then, cause see, here's the thing. Whatever agreement that CZW made with Stonecutter Media, it don't mean shit if the talents were not in the loop the entire time. It doesn't matter. Very sticky situation here. Very sticky situation. And I got a feeling this is going to turn out real fucking ugly. Let me put it to you this way. Enough people band together, and the lawsuits left and right. These motherfuckers are dead to right. Man, CZW could go out of business. The Stonecutter Media guys, I don't know I've never heard of these guys before. I'll definitely do my research, and next show I'll be able to tell you a lot more about them. But their pockets could be hurting big time. They could be fucking hurting big time. So pay attention to that one, because that's got, I know, usually, WWE, or, y'all really need to be paying attention to that story right now, that developing one, because that can get very, very interesting before the year is out, especially if it gets to a point where they're going to have to go to trial, and there's going to have to be a jury involved and all that other shit. How much money does DJ Hyde have to go to trial? How much money does the Stonecutter Media company have? I'm almost kind of reminded, the last time I saw pro wrestling take a little bit of a black eye was when it came to WWN Live. You guys remember that? I remember there was a period where WWN Live, and I remember we were talking about it on the show some years back, but they were involved in some controversial shit because something had went down with a company that was supposed to be helping them and streaming the shows and all that. And you gotta give me a day or two to kind of really recollect. But those of you that kind of got a sharper memory than I do, it's old man's age, man. It happens to the best of us. But I remember, it's like, whoa, say what? And I just remember that did not go over well. Speaking of not going over well, I don't know how many of you guys had saw it, but Rob Feinstein of R.I.P Video, we kind of teased it a couple of nights ago. Rob Feinstein of R.I.P Video, kind of sad. He's involved in some new drama that went down this week. Apparently another vendor, and I can't stress it enough, and I'm not going to make the story long-winded. We're just going to end the show on this note. I can't stress it enough. Nobody has the right to tell you what to do with your money, where to spend it on. That's your God-given right. You worked your ass off. You've earned that right. You choose to spend your money how you want to spend it. If you decide that after you get done taking care of your bills, taking care of your family, all of that, your everything. If you decide, okay, I want to splurge a little bit. Yeah, I've got emergency money put to the side in case something goes down, but I got a little bit of spending money that I want to spend on myself. I want to spoil myself a little bit. If you decide you want to buy wrestling memorabilia or whatever, that's your right. That's your right. But one thing I want you guys to make sure you're doing is make sure, I don't care if it's with or a video, whoever, make sure you're buying from somebody that you know is reputable, that you know that, okay, if I buy this and I take this to this company or this company or this company and I have them double check this autograph, is it going to come back 100% authentic? And I mention all of that because some guy that was still a vendor, works out in Connecticut. Apparently he reached out to Rob. Actually, no, he did not reach out to Rob. What he actually did was post his own live auction on Rob's Facebook page. And Rob's kind of like, come on, man. Like, at least ask the motherfucker first. So he deleted the shit. And the guy took it a step further and was actually private messaging the heavy spenders, or people that he thought were heavy spenders that he saw were bidding on whatever items that Rob had up for selling his auctions. And he basically was private messaging these people saying, you know, oh, well, I work with Rob. I'm based out in Connecticut, but, you know, I help him out, you know, from Connecticut. If he wasn't saying that, he was also saying, you know, hey, saw you in the auction, thought maybe you'd be interested in my auctions as well. So it's, you know, one can look at that and say, okay, that's kind of a bit shady. So apparently enough people, Rob said he's got the screenshots, video to back it up. Enough people had private messaged him, told him about this guy. So Rob private messaged this guy, XYZ. And like, oh yeah, sorry, you know, my bad. Next thing you know, this guy turns around the next day, just when Rob thought everything was cool, this guy is throwing him under the bus, mentioning the infamous Roddy Piper bogus pics, which turned out not to be the case, that the pics, autograph pics, were 100% authentic. But all that shit that was just rehashed, it was just mind-boggling to see all of that go down. So I can't help but stress and say to you guys, whoever you decide you want to do business with when it comes to wrestling memorabilia, I don't care who you do it from. I know sometimes on the show we plug Chairshot Tees, which is an endeavor by R.I.P Video and Shaheen from Nuclear Heat Graphics, and I always tell you guys, hey, represent, you know, buy some cool merch from them and everything. And you know, they're cool people, especially Shaheen. Shaheen has done awesome graphic works for me in the past. He's continuing to be my go-to guy whenever I need stuff done for the shows, templates and all that. He's my go-to guy. I do have a new guy in the works, just to kind of switch it up, make things kind of cool. So it's nice to have more than one option. But I don't care about my association, my connection to whomever. My whole thing is, when it comes to that wrestling memorabilia stuff, make sure that before you're spending that money on whatever items, just make sure, because the last thing you want is something that's not authentic, right? Whether you're spending $8, $20, $50, $100 and up, no matter how small, you want to make sure that what you have is authentic. So make sure when you're doing that type of stuff, you're asking the right questions. You know, hey, will it pass, whatever? You know, because it can be kind of a tricky situation sometimes. You know, that's as diplomatic and as neutral as I can possibly be on a situation like that. But most disturbing when you hear that somebody's going around private messaging. I mean, that's just, man, it comes off desperate on so many levels, just when you hear that. Now, of course, as I'm always quick to tell you, there's one side of the story, there's another side to the story, and then somewhere in the middle, there's the absolute truth. We'll never really know what the definitive truth is, but just kind of based on what you kind of gathered so far. Shout out to Patreon members Gino. Shout out to John Krauser, Sean Kenter, Justin Ripsock, Michael Wolf, John Davis. Also shout out to Tony Bean Gaming. You want the very latest in all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Super War, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Tips, tricks, news, walkthroughs, reviews. Tony Bean Gaming. Great YouTube channel. Check him out. He's also got him. Cool ass Patreon paywall as well. And speaking of Patreon paywalls, support us. Patreon.com/RCWR show. $5 a month. Get you everything. You get bonus audio, video content. We got up right now Undertaker Last Ride episode 1. I was getting ready to put out episode 2, but I took Tam's recommendation. Tam was like, nah, let them marinate for a couple of days with episode 1. Give them episode 2 on Friday evening. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Yeah, that way it's more closer to when we talk about episode 3. All right, well, that makes a little bit of sense. Okay, cool. So I'll be dropping episode 2 of our Undertaker review for you Patreon cats. I'll be dropping that Friday evening after I get in from work. So you guys should have that around, I would say 10:30, because I've already enhanced the audio, all that other shit. I just got to add the intro, outro, and everything's good to go. Saturday, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I will be watching the pay-per-view. That's a lot of money to spend, so I'm probably going to jump in somebody's private stream or something to watch it. I don't believe I'm going to be ordering it, because that's pretty high, and my cable bill is already high as it is for this month. So, yeah, anything changes, I'll definitely let you guys know. But I'll definitely be watching it. There will definitely be a AEW Double or Nothing post-show this Saturday. I can assure you of that. So stay tuned for that. And meantime, be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads. You guys that's going to be looking for the audio version of this, it'll be available. I'll make it available Friday night. I will get that out ASAP, quick as I possibly can. Please, if you enjoyed the episode, depending on the platform you're checking it out, like, subscribe, give a follow, all that good stuff. YouTube, you guys know, hit the like button. Helps out with the algorithm, helps the YouTube algorithm, guys, help better get content to people. Oh, you like wrestling? You like, okay, hey, here, check out Lee. He's good. Helps out. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. So hit the like button. Means a lot. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use keywords, the RCWR show. Till next go around, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. If I don't hear from you guys for our AEW Double or Nothing post-show coverage, I know with the holiday coming up, Memorial Day, I will be live. I mean, come on. It doesn't make sense to not do a show, because by the time I'm coming on, Memorial Day is pretty much over. So I will be doing the show Memorial Day night. So if I don't catch you guys Saturday, I'll catch you guys Monday night. Enjoy your Memorial Day holiday weekend, and I'll catch you then. Be safe, be kind to one another. Be well, my friends.